This video is a sequel to the last one entitled Entering Nominal, Ordinal, and Ratio Scale Variables on SPSS. In today's video, I have come over to specifically highlight a point that should not be missed on the part of the researcher entering his or her data on the software. This relates to the column entitled Measure. As you can see here, by the way, these are the variables that we used as an illustration in the last video, so I'm keeping the same variables just in case you would like to go back to the video. Let's consider the variable of gender, as you can see here. So we have gender, we specified numeric, width, decimals, labels, values, etc. So we talked about these things, but we cannot proceed, ladies and gentlemen, if we do not specify measures. On most of the occasions, we have a default setting here, which is scale, and it's up to us to change it if the variable is not a scale variable. So let's consider, for example, gender. We made the point that it is a categorical and nominal scale variable, and it has values. Look at this, just as a reminder, we have male, female, so we have given 1 to female and 2 to male, etc. And then, of course, we proceeded with some of the default specifications of the variable here, and then we have measures. So since gender is a nominal scale variable, we have to click here and choose nominal. For city of origin, again, because we have city 1, city 2, city 3, etc., this is also a nominal variable, so we have to change scale. Okay, we click on nominal so that it is displayed here. And then, of course, we have study frequency. Study frequency usually answers the question, how often? This is what we have here, by the way. 1 corresponds to never. Number 2 corresponds to rarely. Enter. Number 3 corresponds to sometimes. Number 4 usually. And number 5 always. So this one here is an ordinal scale. Why? It's because the difference between never, sometimes, usually, etc. is not like difference between wujda, agadir, dakhla. So here we have some sort of mathematically meaningful numbers. So we call this an ordinal variable because we have some sort of rank ordering. We are ranking our data here from the least frequent to the most frequent. So we have to specify ordinal, and it has that icon here that looks like a histogram. And then if we would like to add another variable like final grade, as a reminder, we don't need to have spaces here. So I click and I have these default settings. Here you can write final grade without any problem. And then the measure. This is the most important point. The grade ranges from 0 to 20, for example. These are numbers that are continuous. So we call this a scale variable. So we specify scale here. Notice, please, that as we switch to data view, as you can see here, our variables are already there. And some of the data that I typed earlier, and I can continue to type, for example, student 1 for study frequency 1, it means never, and then rarely, and then sometimes, and then usually, and then always. And then we can randomly write these. For the sake of illustration, I don't advise students to do it this way as they type their own data. This is what we call cooked data. Of course, it's illegal. Look at this. Look at what's going to happen when I click here. We have an arrow with A and then a divergent arrow where you have one. When I click on it, look what happens to the numbers. It means that the software recalls the information that we gave it. Look at this alternation between numbers and the labels that we gave. This is exactly the point that I wanted to make in this video. Thank you very much.